Hey everybody, I wanted to try to make a sort of short, long form video here talking about this camera kit that is my profile picture on most of my social media, and it's been my go-to Northern Lights photography camera. Although I have a newer camera, this is still really my go-to kit for shooting the Northern Lights, because over the years of using this for Northern Lights photography, I just know this lens very well, and I know the camera and lens combination well. I don't have to fuss around a lot at night, especially when it's really cold in northern latitudes where we normally see the Northern Lights. Anyway, this is my go-to Northern Lights kit, even now in 2024. I recently actually shot some really awesome, nice photos of this spectacular Northern Lights event that happened over Seattle just in May of this year. In May 2024, we had a big geomagnetic storm. A lot of you probably know about that. It was seen, the aurora was seen all over the world in places that normally wouldn't see it, and that also happened to be here in Seattle. I was keeping an eye on the activity and just watching everything, watching my apps, and I was set up while it was still daylight out here in West Seattle, where I live, where there's a nice park out here. It has an amazing view of the city and just a big open sky view that you can see the entire northern horizon from east to west. I mean, as far as you can see, literally. And anyway, brought this kit out, and I brought my newer kit, which is a Sony A7IV, but I had a zoom lens, and maybe I'll make another video about that later. But I don't recommend any kind of zoom lens for shooting, as many of you know, for astro and especially for Northern Lights. I mean, yes, if you have a fast aperture, you can get some decent shots with a zoom, but I'm gonna go ahead and say prime lenses all the way, and wide prime lenses, for shooting the sky. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. Most of you know this if you're done any astrophotography. I like the 20 millimeter focal length. I do have a 14 millimeter manual focus. It takes awesome shots, but it's f2.8, and that's something else I want to just talk about for a minute. This is an f2, this lens, and I'm already finding that although this has been my go-to kit and I love the images that this lens and this camera produce for me for Northern Lights photography, I'm definitely looking at even faster aperture lens now. I got my eye on the Viltrox 16 millimeter, and that's got the 1.8 aperture. That's kind of, I think, going to be my next night photography lens. But anyway, getting to the point of this video, this kit here has been like I said, my go-to Aurora Borealis camera kit. This is a Sony A7 Mark II. Yes, it's a 10-year, almost 11-year-old camera now. And the lens, this awesome looking cinematic looking lens, is the Tokina Firin 20 millimeter with, like I said, the f2 aperture. This is an amazing lens, you guys. I think it's an underdog, amongst all of the other third-party Sony E-mount lenses that are out and continue to come out. It sort of just got swept under, or swept into the undertow of all the other lenses that are coming out, sort of like algorithms in social media, right? If you don't wow someone right away, you get lost. Your content gets lost. So with that being said, check this lens out. This, seriously, it's a manual focus lens, but once you get that dialed in, that doesn't even matter. And that's what you actually want for astrophotography and, of course, Northern Lights, which is sort of astrophotography. Manual focus, manual everything all the way. You want total control. You don't want the camera to decide anything for you, or the lens. But maybe I'll make a whole other video about that down the road, about shooting the Northern Lights. But anyway, check out this lens, you guys. Seriously, you can find them used now for much less than I paid for this thing new. I bought it in 2018 new. I think it was close to $700, or it was $600 or $700. It wasn't cheap. But you know what? I have definitely gotten my money out of this lens so many times, as I have. While I lived in Finland, I worked as a Northern Lights tour guide, and I took photos of the Northern Lights and folks with the Northern Lights. And this was my kit. This was my go-to kit for years doing this, and I actually ended up selling a lot of those photos to folks. You know, they wanted those memories, and those images from this kit with this lens were sharp. And I'm telling you, at night, manual focus, amazing sharp photos with people perfectly crystal clear, and the Aurora Borealis. So again, just to go over this one more time, the Tokina Firin 20mm f2, look it up. It's an amazing manual focus lens. And yes, my Sony A7 Mark II. Still a very capable camera in 2024. There you go, guys. If you have any questions about Northern Lights photography, hit me up down in the comments, and give a like, please, to this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm just going to keep making content, and hopefully it's useful to some of you guys.